Why bother looking for more answers?
It's very uncomfortable for most people to admit that they were wrong about something, which is very strange, by the way, because it's such a liberating experience once you get used to it. You know, it's kind of like dating, right? I'm telling you guys, here's some dating advice, okay? When you get rejected a couple of times, it feels like, you know what? I'm never going to ask anybody ever out again, okay? This is too much, okay? But then once you get the habit of getting like, you know what? Rejection is not that bad, right? Then you get so brave to go ask people out because you're not afraid of rejection, because you're like, you know what? For every 50 rejection I'm going to get, one of them is going to be like successful. So I have to go through the rejections to be able to get that success, right? So once you get used to being rejected, then you're like, yeah, okay, that now your life is going to improve a lot, right? Same thing with admitting you're wrong, okay? Because a lot of people think like their ideas, their mind is such an important part of their identity. They think like saying I'm wrong is like such a devastating blow to who they are. Like it seems like their entire existence is being questioned. And if you admit that you were wrong about something, they see it as a major defeat, as you being destroyed somehow by people who knew better than you, right? Like it's a win to them and a loss for you. But once you need to quickly get over that, right? Once you get to a position that you just like, oh yeah, I was wrong about this. I was wrong about that. And not only be okay with it, but be proud of how often you say that. It's so liberating. You could never be crushed. You can never be people like, oh, so and so was destroyed. Here's a debate tip. Here's a debate. So we went from a dating tip to a debate tip, okay? Constantly give in to the person that is debating you about something that they are right about and you're wrong about. You just give in to them. You're like, yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That you have a point. Yeah, I'm wrong about that. Okay, you could never, you could never be crushed, defeated, or humiliated in any way if you constantly like, yeah, I'm wrong. So, yeah, I was wrong. Just like, you take the power away from the people who want to use you being wrong about things as a way to, I don't know, destroy you somehow. Where you're like, yeah, I'm wrong. So what? So what? I was wrong. Right? It's such a like we need to normalize people admitting they're wrong because it's so liberating. It's so freeing. You have no idea. Oh yeah, Babylon Project asking, what about a tip on debating your date? Don't. That's the best tip I can get you.
There's one we can
Good point. I've had that. Oh yeah, thank you, Rasim.
just live in comfort with whatever people believe in. Knowing this, how could I believe that my beliefs, which my culture adopted at some point, which I was gladly, happily born into, are the right beliefs, and all the others are wrong? Even if some of us go on greater journeys and experience different cultures and change our beliefs throughout our lives, we are very few. Most people simply spend their lives believing in whatever their parents believed in,
Yes.
even if they differ a bit in their precise practices and beliefs. They usually think that the beliefs that they were born into, which their parents held, are of course true. And there are so many convincing arguments, so many convincing reasons to believe in it. Of course, it's true. I keep thinking about all those people, most people.
And this is not just with religion. This is with political views as well, right? If you're a lefty, any argument for leftist positions are obviously true. Obviously true. And if you're right wing, when you see argument, it's not like you're looking at the arguments and you're like, yeah, this makes sense to me because this and this and this, these premises, if you look at it objectively, leads to this conclusion. No, they're just apparently true because you're a lefty and these are leftist arguments, or you're right wing and these are right wing arguments, right? So again, I'm gonna have to find this video for you guys.
Vast majority of people who never question their beliefs, who never end up changing any of their beliefs, and it's okay. It's not their fault. As said, they are simply abiding by the circumstances which they were born into. Think about this. If you're a Christian watching this, think about being born into a religious Muslim family in a place in Pakistan, where more than 95% of people are Muslims. It may seem absurd and outlandish to you right now to believe in Islam, which is this absurd belief that is so obviously wrong and so obviously terrible. But that's only because you were not born there in those circumstances. It's because you are a Christian. If you were in that guy's position in Pakistan, in that place where 95% of people in your surrounding and your family are Muslims, then you would also most likely, almost certainly, be born as a Muslim, live your life as a Muslim, and die as a Muslim. And you would be offended by Muhammad cartoons, by the way. Most likely, there would be no way for you to ever come to the conclusions that you have right now as a Christian who was born in America, for example. There would be no way for you to ever convert to Christianity, no matter what kinds of scenarios people want to offer.
Well, not no way, but very little chance.
You right now to justify your beliefs. We are very lucky in the 21st century. Let's go back 500 years.
Oh, yeah.
It was extremely uncommon compared to today to interact
yes.
with other religions, to
Before.
learn about different religions. Today, the least informed individual can use their smartphone, which we use more commonly to look at much less intelligent things.
Yeah, the problem with, I mean, this is definitely an improvement. By the way, people who say like, oh yeah, the whole access to the information didn't do anything for us. No, it did. This is what we have right now is definitely an improvement to how the lack of access to information that we had before. So when I say this, please do not make it seem like I'm saying that there was no improvement. The problem with all this information, again, I say the problem with all this information without claiming that this is all bad. This is just a small problem compared to all the benefits, right? Because we have a mountain of benefits to have when it comes to access to all this information. And this is one problem. One problem is that we also have access to a lot of misinformation, okay? So what we realize is that just giving access to people everywhere is not enough. It is important, but that's not enough because now you have access to good information and you have access to conspiracy theories. You have more access to religious crap. You have access to a lot of misinformation, okay? So, and what religious leaders also realize is that if they can't force you into their religion, like if Islam cannot be forced on you, then they have to just increase the volume of their nonsense so you can't hear the opposition, right? It's just hard to find this needle, okay? It's just like so hard to be able to, because there's so much crap out there that now you have like, yes, the correct information is right at your fingertips. The correct information is right at your fingertips, but how are you going to know that it's right at your fingertips, given that all the bad information is also right at your fingertips, right? So the other part of this equation is not to just provide people with all the data. The other part of the equation is to also give them bullshit radars, the detectors, right? Like we have to give them the tools and the equipment to be able to be like, yeah, this is bullshit. Okay, this seems like, okay, this is also bullshit. Give me yeah, this one. Oh, this is great. This is good. I'm gonna keep this one. Okay. So we need to give them the tools to be able to detect what's right and what's wrong. Or and you could do that, and you could get those tools by you guys know what I'm gonna say? You know what's the best way to get better at detecting bullshit from reality? You guys know what I'm going to say, right? What is the best way to do that? What is the best way for you to become a better bullshit detector? Come on, guys. Skepticism? True, but that's not what I'm going to say. Anyone? No? What is the best way to get better? Fact checking, I would say. Nope, no, guys. What am I? You guys cannot tell what I'm gonna say. What is the best way for you to become a better bullshit detector? Critical thinking, yes, sure, but that's not what I was gonna say. Unbiased education, sure, but that's not what I was gonna say. Oh, come on. critical thinking. Yes, sure, but not. If yes, by subscribing to Atheist Republic is the tried and true, is the best way for you to stop being a moron. Is to subscribe to Atheist Republic. Subscribe right now. That's how you stop being. If you consume our videos over a couple of weeks, you're gonna notice that you have stopped being a moron. You're like, oh my God, what happened to all my moronic takes? They all are falling dead. Like they're being taken out like flies. Oh my God, this is the cure I needed. Subscribe to Atheist Republic is the best way for your bullshit radar to get an upgrade, okay? Of course. God. How did you guys not see that coming?
Learn the basics about most major religions in the world. In a week, you can learn much of the important stuff, or most of the important stuff, about all the major religions, and you can have a fairly good understanding about them. It may be a bit of a headache, but it's possible. So it's easy for us nowadays to sit here and say, yeah, I could have converted to that religion, but it's obviously wrong, so why would I do that? I'm totally convinced with my own. The average person 500 years ago didn't even have the luxury to think about any of this and to question whether they should stay a Muslim or a Christian or convert to a different religion. I think the point here is clear. We are born into different times and geographies, and the beliefs that we have depend on the time and the place that we are in.